Have you ever wondered why your energy seems to vanish by mid-afternoon? Why getting out of bed feels like climbing a mountain, even after a full night's sleep? Why that mental sharpness, that drive, that vitality you once had seems to be slipping away? It's not just aging, it's something far more specific, happening inside your body right now. According to recent medical research, energy metabolism in men over 50 declines nearly 25% faster than previously understood. What's truly alarming is that most of these energy crashes are not simply the result of getting older, but are linked to preventable habits that most men never question. I'm Dr. John, men's health specialist, with over 30 years of experience helping thousands of men reclaim their energy, vitality, and mental clarity. After age 50, your cellular energy systems become more vulnerable to disruption. Stamina decreases, recovery time extends, and the risks that come with seemingly harmless daily routines grow exponentially larger. Yet most men continue with the same habits they've had for decades, unaware that these routines could be quietly draining their energy reserves and accelerating their decline. So what are these hidden energy vampires lurking in your daily routine? Which common habit is responsible for more energy depletion than any other? And what simple changes can you make tonight to protect your vitality, your mental clarity, and your zest for life? In this video, we're going to explore 7 deadly energy killers that are affecting millions of men over 50. Killer number 3 is the most surprising. You definitely won't want to miss it. And don't worry, I'll also share the right steps to take so you can restore your natural energy levels safely and effectively. Before we dive into these life-changing insights, if you're new to our channel, welcome. Let's grow stronger together. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe so you never miss our upcoming content. Your journey to better health and energy starts here, and I'm excited to be part of it. Oh, and let us know where you're watching from by dropping your location in the comments. I'd love to hear from you. All right, let's get started. Energy killer number 7, hidden inflammation sources. Let's begin with a silent energy thief that many men never suspect. Chronic inflammation. Low-grade inflammation acts like an invisible tax on your energy systems, draining resources your body needs for optimal performance. As we age, our bodies become more susceptible to inflammatory triggers, many hiding in plain sight in our daily routines. What most men don't realize is that inflammation isn't just about joint pain or visible swelling. It's a system-wide energy vampire, forcing your body to divert precious resources away from energy production and toward damage control. Studies from Johns Hopkins University show that men with elevated inflammation markers experience up to 30% less cellular energy production compared to those with normal levels. I remember working with Richard, a 58-year-old business executive who came to me exhausted and frustrated. "Doc," he said, "I sleep 8 hours a night. I take my vitamins, but I still feel like I'm running on fumes. What's happening to me?" His blood work revealed the answer. His inflammation markers were 3 times what they should be. The culprits? Foods he thought were healthy, hidden household toxins, and an overlooked dental infection, all creating a perfect storm of energy-draining inflammation. So what foods trigger this inflammatory cascade? Processed vegetable oils, corn, soybean, canola, commonly found in restaurant meals, and packaged foods, refined carbohydrates and sugars, causing blood sugar spikes that amplify inflammatory responses. Gluten-containing grains, which for many men over 50 become increasingly problematic. Artificial sweeteners and additives that disrupt gut health, where much of your inflammation begins. I put Richard on a structured anti-inflammatory protocol, eliminating the top inflammatory triggers for 30 days, adding natural anti-inflammatories like turmeric, omega-3s, and specific herbs, improving his gut health with targeted probiotics and prebiotics, addressing his dental infection, which was silently draining his resources. Within just 3 weeks, his energy had improved so dramatically. He called me on a Sunday morning. "I can't believe it," he said. "I just took my grandkids hiking. Something I couldn't have imagined a month ago." His inflammation markers had dropped by 65%, and his subjective energy scores improved from a 4 out of 10 to nearly an 8. What's the lesson here? Inflammation isn't just about pain. It's a massive energy drain. For men over 50, addressing hidden inflammation becomes non-negotiable if you want to maintain vitality and mental clarity. Start by eliminating the most inflammatory foods. Focus on gut health and consider specialized testing to identify your personal inflammation triggers. Your body wants to produce energy efficiently, but first you must reduce the inflammatory burden holding it back. Energy killer number 6, micronutrient deficiencies. Let's talk about something that affects nearly every man over 50, yet remains largely invisible. Critical micronutrient deficiencies. Most men know about vitamins and minerals, but few realize how dramatically certain deficiencies can devastate energy levels. As we age, our bodies face a double challenge with nutrients: decreased absorption capacity, increased metabolic needs. It's like trying to fill a bucket with a widening hole in the bottom, while simultaneously needing more water. Research from Tufts University found that over 90% of men above 50 are deficient in at least one essential micronutrient, critical for energy production. The energy impact isn't subtle. Think about trying to build a fire without enough kindling, or run a factory with key machine parts missing. Your cellular energy plants, mitochondria, need specific nutrients to function properly. When these are missing, energy production plummets, no matter how well you eat or how much you sleep. I remember working with Michael, a 62-year-old professor who came to me with debilitating fatigue. "I've tried everything," he said. "Better sleep, exercise, even testosterone therapy. Nothing works. I feel like I'm fading away." Comprehensive testing revealed severe deficiencies in magnesium, the energy mineral, responsible for over 300 enzymatic reactions, yet depleted by common medications, stress, and even exercise. B vitamins, especially B12, which declines with age due to reduced stomach acid production. CoQ10, critical for mitochondrial function, yet depleted by common medications, particularly statins. Vitamin D, essential for cellular energy, yet chronically low in men over 50 who spend less time outdoors. Zinc, crucial for hormone production and enzyme function, yet easily depleted through stress and exercise. What makes this particularly dangerous for men over 50? Many of these deficiencies develop gradually, creating a slow, almost imperceptible decline that men attribute to just getting older. Meanwhile, common medications can silently deplete crucial nutrients, creating a vicious cycle of declining energy. For Michael, we implemented a targeted repletion protocol, specialized testing to identify his specific deficiencies, therapeutic supplementation to rapidly restore optimal levels, addressing the root causes of his nutrient depletion, enhancing his absorption capacity through digestive support. Within 60 days, his energy had transformed so completely. He told me, "I feel like someone replaced my batteries. I didn't realize how depleted I was until I experienced what normal energy feels like again." So what's the practical takeaway? For men over 50, basic multivitamins rarely address the specific deficiencies most critical for energy. Consider comprehensive micronutrient testing to identify your specific deficiencies. Focus on the energy nutrients most commonly depleted: magnesium, B vitamins, CoQ10, zinc, and vitamin D. Address absorption issues, which often require digestive support. As we age, remember, your body isn't failing you. It simply lacks the raw materials needed for optimal energy production. Once those materials are restored, the transformation can be remarkable. Energy killer number 5, hidden blood sugar dysregulation. Did you know that the energy crashes you experience throughout the day might be directly linked to how your body manages blood sugar? For men over 50, this connection becomes even more critical. Let me explain what happens inside your body. When blood sugar becomes unstable, your cells rely on a steady, consistent supply of glucose for energy production. Not too high, not too low. But as we age, our insulin sensitivity declines, creating larger swings in our blood sugar levels. Think of insulin as the doorman that lets glucose into your cells. When that doorman becomes less efficient, glucose stays in your bloodstream longer, causing energy highs followed by dramatic, debilitating crashes. Research from Stanford University found that men with blood sugar instability experienced 40% more fatigue than men with stable glucose levels, even without diagnosable diabetes or prediabetes. I've seen this pattern repeatedly. In my 3 decades of practice, I remember working with Thomas, a 57-year-old architect, who came to me confused about his energy patterns. "I'm fine in the morning," he told me, "but by 2 p.m., I'm completely wiped out. Then after dinner, I get a second wind when I should be winding down for sleep. It makes no sense." His pattern made perfect sense. When we monitored his glucose levels throughout the day, his high-carb breakfast was spiking his blood sugar, creating a temporary energy surge, followed by a dramatic crash by afternoon. His dinner, often lower in carbs, created more stable energy, explaining his evening second wind. What makes blood sugar dysregulation particularly dangerous for men over 50? Our muscles become less efficient at taking up glucose, requiring more insulin to do the same job. Stress hormones, often elevated in midlife, further disrupt glucose management. Medications common after 50 can interfere with normal glucose metabolism. Central abdominal fat, more common in men over 50, increases insulin resistance, creating more dramatic energy swings. For Thomas, we implemented a strategic approach, continuous glucose monitoring, to identify his personal triggers, restructuring his meals to prioritize protein and healthy fats before carbohydrates, adding key nutrients that support glucose metabolism, particularly chromium, berberine, and magnesium. Strategic movement after meals to improve muscular glucose uptake. Within 3 weeks, his afternoon crashes had vanished, his sleep improved dramatically, and his energy remained stable. throughout the entire day. I can't believe I spent years thinking this was normal aging, he told me. The difference is like night and day. So what's the solution for men over 50? Recognize that blood sugar stability is fundamental for consistent energy. Prioritize protein at every meal, at least 25 to 30 grams to stabilize glucose responses. Consider time-restricted eating to improve insulin sensitivity. Add movement after meals. Even a 10-minute walk can dramatically improve glucose management. Remember, stable blood sugar means stable energy, and stable energy allows you to reclaim the vitality that blood sugar chaos steals. Energy killer number 4, the medication energy drain. Let's talk about something that affects millions of men over 50, yet is rarely discussed, even by most doctors. How certain common medications could be quietly draining your energy without you even realizing it. As a men's health specialist with over 3 decades of experience, this might be the most overlooked factor I see in my practice. Many medications prescribed after 50 can deplete energy through several mechanisms, depleting critical nutrients needed for energy production, disrupting sleep quality and architecture, altering hormonal balances that affect vitality, directly impacting mitochondrial function. Let me be absolutely clear. These medications save lives, and you should never stop taking them without your doctor's guidance. But you deserve to know how they might be affecting your energy and what you can do about it. Statins for cholesterol management. Deplete CoQ10, a critical nutrient for mitochondrial energy production. Beta blockers for blood pressure can reduce exercise capacity and deplete energy-critical nutrients. Acid reducers for reflux impair B12 absorption, crucial for energy metabolism. Certain antidepressants can alter dopamine and other neurotransmitters, vital for motivation and physical energy. I remember working with James, a 64-year-old professor who came to me with profound fatigue. I understand I need these medications, he said, but I feel like they're stealing my life force. There has to be a better way. He was taking 4 different medications, each with known energy-depleting effects, creating a perfect storm of fatigue. So what can you do if you need these medications? First, never stop taking prescribed medication without medical supervision. The risks can be life-threatening. Instead, work with knowledgeable healthcare providers who understand medication nutrient depletion and can help mitigate these effects. For statins, adding CoQ10 supplementation can offset mitochondrial energy loss. For acid blockers, B12 supplementation in methylated form for better absorption. FO or blood pressure medications. Targeted nutrients like magnesium and CoQ10 can help restore energy production. For James, we worked with his primary doctor to adjust his medication regimen while implementing targeted nutrient repletion. We also explored alternative medications within the same therapeutic class that had fewer energy-depleting effects. Within 2 months, his energy scores improved by 65% while maintaining excellent management of his medical conditions. For the first time in years, he told me, I feel like the medication is helping my health without destroying my quality of life. Remember, the goal isn't to stop medications, but to minimize their impact on your vitality. Talk to your doctor about medication alternatives with fewer energy side effects, proper timing of medications to reduce fatigue impact, targeted supplementation to offset nutrient depletion, lifestyle modifications that may reduce medication needs. You deserve both effective treatment and the energy to enjoy your life Never settle for one without the other. Energy killer number 3, the oxygen delivery crisis. We've now reached the most surprising energy thief on our list, one that affects nearly every man over 50, yet remains largely invisible. Compromised oxygen delivery. What if I told you that your cells could be starving for oxygen, even if you're breathing normally and have normal blood oxygen levels? As a doctor who's evaluated thousands of men, I can tell you with absolute certainty, nothing destroys energy faster than impaired oxygen delivery to tissues. Here's why this matters so much after 50. Oxygen is the final acceptor in your energy production chain. Without optimal oxygen at the cellular level, energy production grinds to a halt. What most men don't realize is that STANDARD tests like oxygen saturation measure oxygen in your bloodstream, not whether it's actually reaching your cells. 3 critical factors determine cellular oxygen delivery: red blood cell function and flexibility, capillary density and health, mitochondrial ability to utilize oxygen. All 3 decline with age, creating an energy crisis at the cellular level. I remember working with William, a 59-year-old executive, who came to me with classic symptoms: profound fatigue, brain fog, exercise intolerance. I get winded walking up a single flight of stairs, he said. My doctor says my lungs are fine. My heart is strong and my blood oxygen is normal. So why do I feel like I'm suffocating from the inside? Advanced testing revealed the issue. His red blood cells had lost flexibility, becoming rigid and unable to squeeze through tiny capillaries. His cellular oxygen delivery was operating at just 60% capacity, despite normal blood oxygen levels. What causes this cellular oxygen crisis? Inflammation makes red blood cells rigid and sticky, reducing their ability to deliver oxygen. Microvascular damage from blood sugar spikes reduces capillary function and density. Toxin exposure damages mitochondrial oxygen utilization, creating an energy production bottleneck. Dehydration increases blood viscosity, making oxygen delivery less efficient. For William, we implemented a comprehensive oxygen optimization protocol, specific nutrients to improve red blood cell flexibility, including omega-3 south and mixed tocopherols, mitochondrial support compounds to enhance oxygen utilization, structured hydration to improve blood flow dynamics, targeted breath work to improve lung capacity and oxygen extraction. Within just 6 weeks, his energy had transformed dramatically. His exercise capacity doubled, and his mental clarity returned. I didn't realize how much of my life force was being strangled at the cellular level, he told me. It's like someone turned the oxygen back on. So what's the solution for men over 50? Recognize that oxygen delivery, not just oxygen intake, is critical for energy production. Reduce inflammation, which makes blood cells rigid, through diet and targeted supplements. Support mitochondrial health with CoQ10, PQQ, and other specific nutrients. Improve cardiovascular fitness, which increases capillary density and oxygen extraction capacity. Consider specialized testing to evaluate your cellular oxygen delivery. Remember, breathing normally doesn't guarantee your cells are receiving the oxygen they need. Optimize oxygen delivery, and you'll unlock energy reserves you might not have experienced in decades. Energy killer number 2, the stress response paradox. Let's talk about something that's draining men's energy reserves in a way few recognize: the chronic stress response and its devastating impact on male vitality. Most men understand that stress affects health, but few comprehend how dramatically it sabotages energy production at every level. Here's the paradox. The stress response was designed to give us more energy in short-term, life-threatening situations. But when chronically activated, as it is for most men over 50, it becomes the greatest energy vampire of all. Research from Yale University found that chronic stress reduces cellular energy production by up to 50%, while simultaneously increasing energy demands. It's like pressing the gas pedal to the floor while draining your fuel tank, a recipe for complete energy collapse. I remember working with Robert, a 61-year-old business owner who came to me utterly depleted. "I've always thrived under pressure," he said. "But lately, even small stressors exhaust me. It's like my stress response has a short circuit." Advanced testing revealed his cortisol rhythm was completely flat, his stress adaptation hormones depleted, and his cellular energy production severely compromised. What makes stress particularly dangerous for men over 50? Our stress recovery systems naturally decline with age, yet our stress exposure often increases, creating a widening gap between demand and capacity. Financial pressure, health concerns, career transitions, family responsibilities, all converge at this stage of life. Meanwhile, our neurological stress threshold lowers, making us more reactive to smaller triggers, creating a perpetual state of low-grade stress activation. For Robert, we implemented a comprehensive approach: strategic stress adaptation training, not stress elimination, which is often impossible. Targeted adaptogens like ashwagandha and rhodiola to rebuild stress resilience pathways, structured recovery protocols to restore normal cortisol rhythm, mitochondrial support to rebuild energy production capacity. Most importantly, reframing his relationship with stress from something to avoid to something to strategically manage. Within 3 months, his energy had transformed so completely. He told me, "I feel like someone replaced my batteries. I'm not avoiding stress, I'm just not letting it drain me like it used to." So what's the solution for men over 50? Recognize that stress resilience, not stress avoidance, is the key to energy protection. Implement daily stress recovery practices like breathwork, meditation, or specific movement patterns. 344 019 to 26,100 019 to 29,500. Support your body's stress adaptation systems with targeted nutritional compounds. Create clear boundaries between work and recovery, allowing your system to truly reset. Remember, stress isn't inherently harmful. Chronic, unrecovered stress is the real energy thief. By rebuilding your stress adaptation capacity, you reclaim energy that's been draining away for years or even decades. Energy killer number 1, the circadian rhythm collapse. We've reached the most fundamental, yet overlooked energy destroyer, affecting virtually every man over 50. Disrupted circadian rhythms. As a doctor specialized in men's health for over 3 decades, I've analyzed energy patterns in thousands of men. One reality becomes abundantly clear. Men with disrupted biological rhythms have dramatically lower energy levels, regardless of sleep duration, diet, or fitness. Your body operates on a complex network of internal clocks, controlling everything from hormone production to cellular repair. When these rhythms become disrupted, energy production becomes chaotic and inefficient. Studies from Harvard Medical School showed that men with irregular daily rhythms experienced up to 60% less cellular energy output than men with stable circadian patterns. I remember working with David, a 58-year-old airline pilot, with severe fatigue and brain fog. "I sleep enough hours," he told me, "but I never feel rested. It's like my body doesn't know when to be awake or asleep anymore." His irregular work schedule, varying meal times, and constant exposure to artificial light had completely disrupted his biological rhythms. What makes circadian disruption particularly dangerous for men over 50? Our internal clock regulation naturally weakens with age, making us more vulnerable to disruption. Blue light exposure from screens affects us more profoundly after 50, suppressing melatonin and disrupting sleep quality. Our temperature regulation becomes less robust, interfering with the natural drop needed for restorative sleep. Recovery mechanisms slow down, making it harder to bounce back from rhythm disruptions. For David, we implemented a comprehensive rhythm restoration protocol, strict light hygiene practices, including blue blocking glasses at night and bright light exposure in the morning, consistent meal timing to anchor metabolic rhythms, temperature regulation strategies to support natural circadian cues, strategic supplement timing to reinforce natural biological patterns. Within just 30 days, his energy had improved so dramatically. He called me from an international layover. "I can't believe the difference," he said. "Even with the time change, I feel more energetic and clear-headed than I have in years." So what's the solution for men over 50? Recognize that when you do things is often more important than what you do. Establish consistent sleep and wake times, even on weekends. Get bright light exposure within 30 minutes of waking, preferably natural sunlight. Limit blue light exposure after sunset, using apps, glasses, or device settings. Maintain consistent meal timing, ideally eating within a 10 to 12 hour window. Support your master clock with targeted nutrients like magnesium glycinate and phosphatidylserine. Remember, your body craves rhythm and predictability, especially as you age. Create stable, consistent patterns, and your energy production systems will reward you with sustained vitality throughout the day. Conclusion: reclaiming your natural energy. If you've stayed with me this far, then you already understand something that far too many men have forgotten. That energy, vitality, and mental clarity don't have an expiration date. They don't vanish at 50 or retire at 60. They fade slowly only when we allow these 7 energy thieves to rob us of our natural vitality. We've talked today about the hidden drains lurking in your daily habits: chronic inflammation, micronutrient deficiencies, blood sugar dysregulation, medication side effects, compromised oxygen delivery, chronic stress activation, and circadian rhythm disruption. Each of these silently attacks your energy reserves from a different angle, creating the perfect storm for midlife fatigue and brain fog. But here's what I want you to take away. Your body isn't failing you. It's responding perfectly to the conditions you've created. Give it the right environment, and your energy production can rebound dramatically, often without medications or stimulants. I've seen men in their 60s who thought their best days were behind them. Men in their 70s who had quietly given up on feeling energetic and vital again. And even men in their 80s who were simply enduring their remaining years. But when they began addressing these 7 core factors, something remarkable happened. They came back to life, not in a flashy, overnight way, but in a steady return to vitality, to mental clarity, to enjoying their days again. They started moving with ease, thinking more clearly, feeling engaged with their lives again. I say this not as someone selling false hope, but as a doctor who's witnessed this transformation hundreds of times. Aging is real. Slowing down is natural. But collapsing into fatigue and brain fog, losing your drive, your edge, your presence, that is not your destiny. Nature has given you powerful self-renewal systems. Science has validated them. And your body is still capable of responding, if you'll give it the chance. Maybe it starts with one change, one habit, one decision, one step toward believing that this chapter of your life doesn't have to be defined by declining energy. It can be vibrant, clear, purposeful, and engaged. You're not done. You're not diminished. You're just being called to become more strategic about your energy management. So if this message spoke to you, if something stirred inside you today, don't let it fade. Take action, stay curious. Talk to healthcare providers who understand the importance of energy optimization for men. And above all, listen to your body, because it's still speaking, and it still wants to thrive. If this message meant something to you, don't keep it to yourself. Hit the like button to let others know they're not alone. Subscribe and turn on notifications so you never miss another life-changing health tip made specifically for men like you. And in the comments type, "I'm reclaiming my energy." If you're ready to take back your vitality, your clarity, and your zest for life, one strategic step at a time. This is Dr. John, and I'll see you in the next video.